Hey everyone. Today's gonna be a little bit of a different sit down video. I don't think I have much advice to give on this topic, but I just want to talk about what I'm going through now that I feel like I healed in a sense. Before I go off on everything, I want to say hi, my name is Clarissa if we have not digitally met yet. I just create videos on YouTube based on my personal life experiences. I'm really into vulnerability. I think it really helps people. So here I am. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you feel like you want to stay around. And comment if, you're just feeling a little social, I guess. I started off on a really intentional healing journey last August when I got a new therapist, and I had a lot of different goals. Most of them were very personal goals of mine, like trying to heal from certain trauma and confronting things that I had went through when I was younger, maybe like adolescence and a teenager. I wanted to talk about things that I had really never talked to anyone else about before. I wanted to forgive myself and also other people for whatever it is that I had gone through in the past, and I just wanted to move forward and have nothing really hold me back. So in this period of the last few months, I've learned a lot about myself and I've really grown immensely, and I feel like I've healed so much. But now I'm kind of in this weird place where I'm like, I'm healed, but what now? I know that we don't ever stop healing, so I feel like I'm more at this phase 2 of healing now. As adults, more like young adults is what I can speak to, I feel like a lot of our issues and problems that we have just stem from self-image, and how that comes to be is super dependent on a lot of things, like how you grew up, your upbringing, and your traumas. People are always like, you have to love yourself first, and I think a lot of us take this as we have to treat ourselves kindly, make sure we have a bubble bath for ourselves every once in a while, make sure that we're eating healthy and we're going to the gym, and just doing a lot of things for ourselves, being selfish in a way. But in my personal opinion, I really think that we should be doing these things for ourselves after we already get to a point where we genuinely like ourselves. Please think about it. Do you actually like yourself? Like, really though, do you really like yourself, like who you are as a person? I came to this realization way before I started this round of therapy for healing. There was a point about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe a little more, where I sat myself down and I thought, how can you give any love to yourself, find it justified to do nice things for yourself, when deep down inside you do not like the person you are? You resent the person you're trying or like pretending to be. This could easily be due to a rejection of who you really are, and there's a lot of factors that can go into something like that. Maybe you want to fake it till you make it. Maybe your parents wanted you to be a doctor or a lawyer, but all you want to do is be an interior designer. Maybe you're going for higher degrees, your master's degree, your doctorate degree. You feel like academically excelling is the only way you've ever felt fulfilled. Maybe you're working your corporate 9-to-5 job, trying to climb the ladders because this is the only way that anyone's ever taught me how to feel self-worth. So many of us are conditioned to accept a version of ourselves that makes other people look at us and be like, wow, they really know what they're doing. They really have their stuff together. But like deep down inside, our outside shell doesn't even reflect who we are inside. So how can you possibly justify doing things for someone that you do not even like? And the worst part is that this person that you don't like is you. Since going through my self-healing journey, I found a lot of people talking about how to heal and what their realizations were while healing. I'm happy to see so many resources out there and stories so that other people can empathize and come to realizations and understandings of their own situation. But at the same time, I feel like I've been hearing the same broken records over and over again about healing. You need to love yourself. Not everything you see on social media is real. We're so addicted to social media and it's making us sad. And don't get me wrong, a lot of this stuff is true, but at the core, I think a lot of people straight up just don't like themselves. And on the same note, one of the biggest things that wrecks our self-image and our relationships is our insecurities. So now that I've overcome some of my worst obstacles that had to deal with my insecurities, my dissatisfactions in life, and the reasons why I dislike myself, I'm kind of left feeling like, what now? Where are the people who are on phase 2 of their self-healing journey? I'm not really over that hill of my second phase of self-healing. I've realized a ton of things that on the surface level really kept me feeling bogged down, and it's been a serious help to my productivity, how I feel about myself in general, and just having a better quality of life. But I also have this new phase that I'm going through that is just kind of odd, and it's like this weird phase. I've healed from these things and I'm no longer this person, but now I have to learn how to be this other person who has boundaries, who knows their worth, who isn't willing to accept less than they deserve. And it feels kind of odd because you're the one who's changed. Most times, no one else in your life has done this work or has made this change, at least not recently. So it kind of makes you feel like you have to redefine who you are now that you're healed. Here are some of the struggles I deal with now that I'm healed to an extent. I've had to learn to live a completely new way. Throwing out old thought patterns and behaviors can make you feel like you're stepping into a whole different new universe. It's a whole new way of life, all new thought patterns, and a whole new way of looking at the world that you've never done before. I feel like this is something that I'm doing pretty okay with. I really like the new lens that I've been looking through. It's much more positive, it's a lot more hopeful, and honestly, I really go with the flow a lot now, and that's brought me so much peace. The next thing I've struggled with, which has been a really big struggle honestly, is I have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. I'm really proud of myself for this. This is something that I could have never even predicted that I would be able to do. Things that would make me feel awkward, uncomfortable, just out of place, all of those things had to be met with fearlessness. Some examples are sitting in silence if I had nothing to say, being okay just being myself even if everyone around me in a social setting had maybe really high energy or just a different energy. I no longer match people's energies no matter where I am, what it is that I'm doing. And honestly, that's brought me a lot of comfort, even though initially it was really uncomfortable for me to do that. It also allows other people to see who I really am and accept that person that I am, instead of me conforming to everything around me and then them thinking that I am this type of person or that type of person. Going forward, I don't ever want to paint the wrong picture of myself for someone else just because I think that it's going to make them uncomfortable or like me less. Another thing that I can add to this is actually speaking my mind, of course in a respectful way, but sometimes there will be times where I'm speaking to someone, whether they're a family member or maybe I don't know them too well, practicing putting up boundaries in terms of how you're spoken to, or just the types of things that you're willing to accept. I'll do it both ways. Let's start with family, right? Family, those are people that know you. They feel like they're entitled to your time. They're entitled to really say anything they want without consequence. If someone makes a rude comment towards you and their family, I used to maybe just be quiet, let it hurt my feelings, not really say anything, and then ruminate on it after the fact, wishing I would have said something. At this point in time, I'm the type of person that instead of being afraid to say something, I will say something. It's not going to be a big conversation, but if someone says something rude to me or something that I know that is kind of out of pocket, I'm going to say, hey, I don't really agree with you on that, or I don't think that was a really appropriate thing to say. Do you think? And 9 times out of 10, they're not even going to want to continue the conversation with you because they didn't even think that you were going to respond to their rude comment. And the same thing goes for people you don't know. Speak up when someone says something rude to you, something out of pocket. Make it short and make it sweet. All it's doing is putting up a boundary for other people so that they know what you are willing to accept from them as a person and how far they can push your boundaries and disrespect you in an attempt to make them look good, themselves feel better. Don't be someone's punching bag at the end of the day is what I'm trying to say. That's how we start to feel insecure about ourselves. Be confident in who you are, set your boundaries, and be comfortable with being uncomfortable. It will really help you in the long run. The last thing that I'm struggling with is actually something that I'm really struggling with. I don't know really how to deal with this. The last thing, Luna, don't be rude, buddy. Come here. The last thing that I'm going to mention is something that I'm genuinely struggling with. I don't really know how to move forward with this, but I'm really trying my best, and I'm going to talk to my therapist about it soon because it was kind of a newer realization. I'm trying to figure out how to foster my existing relationship. A lot of the relationships and friendships I have now, it feels like I've had them forever, and a lot of them I made while I was unhealed and still in survival mode. The way I started and continued these friendships throughout the years, I can't blame people for not seeing a difference in who I am, even though it is a positive difference. It's still kind of weird to see me being a little more outspoken or just more comfortable when I always felt like I was usually kind of like a shy, reserved person. And it's either I was that or I was just trying to conform to everyone's energy, as I said before. So not only am I trying to reintroduce myself to people who have already known me for years, I've kind of hurt my... Luna's right near the camera. Luna. By making myself smaller and trying to conform to everyone's energy, I really did myself a disservice in the process of forming relationships and friendships, because now everyone knows me as this one person. And even though it's kind of like a variation of who I am, it still feels kind of weird to me because I know that I'm a different person. I know that I haven't totally been honest with everyone. I just know that I wasn't acting as myself. So this is like the mental block I have now that I've healed. I have to ask myself, are some of these relationships still serving me? Do we still connect in the same way now that I'm totally myself? If they are someone that I want to keep in my life, how can I communicate that I want to go deeper with them rather than just keep the connection I had with them when I was in survival mode? One thing that I've been told, and that I know is a harsh truth, is that some people are not going to survive going through into this new phase of life with me. And I know that that's normal. I've heard it a million times, and I never really experienced that before in my life, at least not to this extent. I've had people come and go from my life before, and a lot of it's just been mutual. But I think the thing that's a difficult realization for me here is that a lot of this is kind of on me because I decided to finally be myself, and it's not really other people's fault that I decided to cover up who I was for so long. It's kind of a hard realization because now I feel like if I was to lose any of these friendships or relationships, that it's kind of all my fault. I'm the one who wasn't being myself. I'm the one who started a friendship or relationship in survival mode. And that's not something that we can always control. But now I feel like I could have decided to not heal and not become a better version of myself or the best version of myself and keep things the way they were, keep them, peachy, or do what I did and heal myself and become a better person for myself. And it should affect other people in my life positively. But unfortunately, like I said before, not everyone is even in the headspace to go on their own healing journey, or maybe now that I'm healed, who we are as people don't align anymore. So that's kind of the weird space that I'm in. It's a hard realization. I don't really have any answers for you guys as to, what can combat this and what'll make it feel better. I am at peace knowing that if I was to lose people in my life due to my continued healing, that, those are people that were probably better left off behind. But it doesn't make it feel any better. It doesn't make me feel happy to do that. But I guess I'll just have to keep you guys posted on how phase 2 of my healing journey is going. It's not easy, but I think we've got this. If you're also kind of beyond the whole self-help and self-healing, if you feel like you are also in a more elevated phase of healing, I would really like to hear what you're going through in the comments, or even if you can empathize with anything that I've said. I'm just not seeing these people out there talking about this kind of stuff. I think I'm gonna make a few TikToks about this probably as soon as I stop recording this, but please let me know. I really, really would like to know if you feel like you're in an even different phase of life. I'm only 25. If you're way older than me and you recognize some of the things that I've been going through that was in your past, please comment below. I would love to have a conversation about it. I kind of just want to feel the temperature of everyone. What are we all going through? What are we all trying to heal from? Where are we in life? The healing journey sometimes can feel really lonely because you feel like no one really understands your specific situation, and we're all so uniquely made that we're not meant to all go through the same situations. But I do always feel like there are some themes things that a lot of us go over and are healing from over and over again. So I think to hear other people's stories would be really nice. So if you'd like to contribute to the conversation, we could totally have a conversation down below in the comments, and I'd really appreciate that. If you want to continue to support me and this channel, please consider subscribing. I put out a new video every other Thursday, and if you like videos like this, kind of sitting down and talking about life, I'm more than happy to continue to make them. I have a lot of different topics that I'd like to hit, so if you have any topics that you want to see, just let me know. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.